You're listening to My Grito Podcast Network, celebrating the culture of Chicanos and Latinos one story and voice at a time. Listen to more My Grito Podcast Network shows over at mygrito.net. Connect on social, on Instagram and Facebook at My Grito, the My Grito Podcast Network.
3, 2, 1. Betania,
What's up?
how are you?
I'm good. I'm really glad to be here.
Thanks for coming out and doing the podcast.
Of course. I'm excited for this.
Have you done anything like this before?
I've done a couple with whether it's my dad or different Chicano Hollywood members podcasts, but it's my first one kind of representing CHM on my own. So.
And what is CHM?
CHM is Chicano Hollywood Musica. So if you don't know Chicano Hollywood, we're kind of breaking up into different verticals, but Chicano Hollywood is just this platform that is pushing the movement of the Chicano voice forward in the entertainment industry. So my lane is music. So that's kind of what I'm here to talk about.
There's your lane. And for those of you that don't know, I did interview Johnny Murillo a few months back. Go ahead and check out the interview. Yes. But we're not here to talk about Chicano Hollywood. We're here to talk about Chicano Hollywood Musica. So how did that start? Like, tell me the infancy to Chicano Hollywood Musica.
So the way that Chicano Hollywood started initially was just a promotional page. So it was just this Instagram page that was started where we just wanted to talk about different filmmakers, projects, mainly our friends that were doing cool stuff. And we're like, okay, people aren't talking about this enough. So it started out that way, got momentum, and then music artists started reaching out saying, hey, like, can we get promotion too? And so once we realized, okay, we built this really cool film community and family on social media, music artists and producers, music video directors, they kind of just deserve their own lane and their own platform. So let's figure out, what does that look like? What does the potential of a Chicano Hollywood Musica look like? So from there, it has turned into something really special because we've gotten like opportunities to develop original series for our app and live events and so many ideas that I'm waiting to kind of happen. But it's been really cool to see how it started from just wanting to talk about what people are doing to now having more things to talk about. So.
Right. And like what Chicano Hollywood is doing, like bringing filmmaking and production, having music with that is so integral, right? Like they go both hand in hand.
Yeah. I mentioned at our producers luncheon recently where I was mentioning how there's like this gap between filmmakers in the music industry where I feel like we don't realize how much we need each other. Like as independent filmmakers, when we make our projects, we kind of just put some crappy copyright-free music and hope that it makes our montage look cool. Whereas there's these really cool artists who are making music and wanting placements in film and TV and pilots and short films. So we need each other to grow. Just like in anything, like we really need that bridge. So I'm wanting to kind of create that and understand that, okay, we all want to look cool and we all want our stuff to look cool. So
that's my main goal in life.
Yeah, exactly. We all just want to be cool. So let's help each other out. And together as a team, like it can work if we just kind of like step back and figure out what that collaborative potential looks like.
So after that initial idea, what was the first thing that you guys did to spearhead this project?
That's a good question. So I think honestly, before we even thought about the like Instagram or platform community, we initially just thought about one show. And we're like, okay, let's make one show. And that was CHM. And it was taking what MTV did when it started, where it was just music videos and video jockeys, music news. And it was all those special things that happened like in the 80s where it was just celebrating music and culture in a way that like I heard Ashton Kutcher say, like, when he was part of MTV during, like, the punked era, he was like, MTV was our TikTok. It was our news. It was our pop culture hub. So it's kind of taking all those, like, really special things about MTV and music news, bringing it back in a way that keeps Chicano culture at the center of it, at the forefront of it. So now we have that show, CHM, on our app now. It's one episode where it just features tons of music videos from up-and-coming Chicano artists, Chicano music video directors. We have our own video jockeys. And it's a way where we are kind of bringing that back as like a new creative reboot, essentially. But, of course, Latinos are at the forefront, whereas that was not a thing back then.
And what's the show name?
That one it's kind of the name of the vertical, so it's CHM.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this is Chicano Hollywood Musica is like the umbrella of it.
Gotcha.
That show is CHM, kind of playing off the MTV thing.
That's cool. And you guys have your own disc jockeys there? That's awesome. Video?
It's fun. It's really cool. We got J.R. Escobar, Ruby Gonzalez, Alia Roscoe, and Elle James. Elle James is a really dope artist based in San Jose. He's doing some really cool things over there. And it's just been cool to kind of have that connection in NorCal, and just the ideas that we have to work together are really cool.
And where are people able to watch these things?
So that one and the many original series that we have coming out will be on our Chicano Hollywood app. So if you haven't downloaded the app, it is a streaming app, which is a Chicano Netflix. So go download it. There is so much content there made by some talented artists. And there you can watch CHM and the first season of Chicano 2.0, which is hosted by Jessica Flores. And so there's artist interviews there and their own music videos, and we'll have a second season of that coming soon.
Ooh, I like that. That's what is on the screen right here.
The pinned post, that first one, that is the trailer for season 1 of that show.
Ooh, can we watch it?
Yes, let's do it.
Jessica Flores, and this is Chicano 2.0, where we highlight the new generation of Chicano talent, all while respecting our roots and those that paved the way before us. And you were using your music to help you and the people around you?
Yeah, when you put a cultura together and all you got is each other, you bond. You create a bond where you become brothers.
You know, this is the city of angels.
It's like such a great city to be born into.
And she's such a good host.
There's so much culture here.
Tanto tiempo disfrutamos de este amor, nuestras almas se acercaron.
I wanted to film a video for it, and I happened to go on tour.
I only had hands and a pen and a bag full of cans. It's a grams for the fiends, it's a grain for my knees for the thing that makes me.
Then I was like, it's gonna be epic. We're gonna have another wild party.
Like, we come a long way. So excited to hear your project, and to everybody watching, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Chicano 2.0.
That's awesome. And that's the first season?
That's the first season.
You guys are working on the second season
so
now?
I'm kind of taking inventory of what artists we would want to be in the second season of that show. But I think it's about 8 or 9 episodes already on the app now. So go check it out.
Yeah, we have the app downloaded, so we got to go check that out.
For sure.
Absolutely. So what's the criteria? How can an artist like reach out to you guys? Like, what's that dynamic like?
Yeah, so I get a lot of DMs, which I love, but I also we have an email as well. I want to create like a form where the artist wants to get involved. They're able to kind of click on, okay, whether it's being a part of the show or whether they need a shout out for their album coming out. Or if they, I wanted to do more live performance opportunities. We just had our launch party. That's the other top post is from our launch party. And so it was really cool because we had about 5 performances. And that was just a way to kind of bring what we've had online in person. And I've got to meet artists that I've been talking to for a while and celebrate them. And just the potential that it all has been really exciting. So yeah, I would say for any artist reaching out, DM or email, just letting me know what you've been up to as an artist, what music you have coming out, what you're working on, and I'll figure out the best way to get you involved. And at the very least, tag us in what you're working on and we'll promote it because I really want us to kind of be an extension of any sort of rollout plan or marketing that they're doing for a project. And so we could just be right there along with them.
Yeah, I mean, every artist needs something like this. Yeah. Whether they're starting out or they've been in the game for years, months, or
for sure.
Anything helps. I think getting the word out with art because space, that is one thing that is very important to creatives, is a platform and a space to show your artwork.
And also just at any level. There's artists that I know of or that I promote that are maybe at like a higher following or higher quality in their artistry, and maybe some who are just new and trying it out and are kind of in the earlier phases. And I want it to be a space, a platform that celebrates you in whatever phase you're in. If you're shooting a video just in your mom's garage and that's just you and the homies, like, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's put it on the app. If you have a budget and you're telling the world you have a budget with what you're wearing and your locations, and yeah, let's talk about it. Let's celebrate that. So I want it to not be this thing where you have to kind of earn your ranking up to being on the app. I want it to be a space where we celebrate music. We celebrate the space that Latinos are taking up in music.
Right. You're celebrating the art.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I had heard on Saturday, right, that you just graduated college and it was in music, right? Music background?
It was more in film production.
Oh, okay. Film production.
Yeah, I graduated from Azusa Pacific in 2021. I had to think about it for a second. It feels like yesterday, but also I was like a COVID grad. I checked out. Like, as soon as I moved off campus, I was like, all right, we're done. But yeah, I graduated with a BFA in cinematic arts. So I studied more of the like narrative filmmaking, but I've loved music for forever. Since before we knew we wanted to do this vertical for Chicano Hollywood, I had made a playlist on like a Chicano Hollywood Spotify. And that was like the first step for artists to get involved, because a lot of artists have to like fight or submit for playlist placements. And I just love making playlists for fun. I just do it when I'm bored. So that was the first place where I'm like, okay, this could be cool. So that was what got me through college, which made it feel like I was studying music in college, but that was not what my homework said. So.
Got it.
How much of what you learned in college did you bring with you in this project?
I would say the way that I learned to harness passion into discipline and structure is what I'm using for this, and like the organizational elements, because there, like in film school, you have just so much energy and ideas, and you think you're gonna just take over the world with your brilliant coming of age feature film. But what you learn is how to work with a team, how to delegate, how to communicate your ideas, how to just really execute something. Because a lot of times, like, your idea will stay in your head, but it's hard to really get like pen to paper and that into action. So that's what I mainly learned, was just like learning how to work with the team and execute an idea from start to finish. When it comes to narrative stuff, I still have like things to learn about filmmaking and stuff, which is what I want to do.
And when you say narrative stuff, what is that?
Narrative is just like a feature, like fictional, so like more of story stuff, whereas the stuff we do for CHM is like docu-series, interviews, stuff like that. So it'd be more of like more of a feature film thing. Like, I have stories I want to develop for the app eventually, but I know that like my heart and passion and timing right now is CHM. So
right. And what is that like? So there's feature film. What is like the docu-series? Like, what is that? Like,
as far
what is
as
that called? That genre? Yeah.
It's probably like nonfiction documentary, still in that genre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more of that like real life capturing, which has been cool, because I feel like a lot of what we're doing at Chicano Hollywood, like as far as like the app and that stuff goes, has been docuseries, and it's been really cool, because I feel like that's the best place to start when it comes to telling our stories. Is like, yeah, let's get in the writer's room and let's like write a show and do all that, but also like, let's tell this story that's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like let's capture this.
How is it happening? Right.
Yeah.
Like, how is it how it's happening like at that moment, so you can go back and be like, hey, this is what we did, and this is how we did it. You know?
Definitely. So that's been cool, because I'm like, okay, I feel like that's a great foundation for us as far as our original content on the app goes, is just telling stories.
Right. And there's so much to tell too, right?
Yeah.
Even with artists.
There's no shortage.
Right.
Yeah, I have so many ideas where I'm like, okay, which one's first? Like, how do I do this?
And how do you prioritize that with something like this?
A lot of it for me, just like in the independent filmmaking world, I think it was Robert Rodriguez that coined the term reverse budgeting,
Reverse budgeting.
Reverse budgeting. So it's basically, instead of like, okay, I want to tell the story, I need X amount of dollars, but I believe in the story and I have to tell it. Instead of doing that, you can say, oh, well, I have this guy that has a really cool car. I have this friend that has a dog. I have this and that. I'm going to write a story out of what I have. And then I know that can help me prove that I can tell a good story and pay for the project of the story that I want to tell. So a lot of times it's like just using your resources and it helps prioritize. So for me, I know that like, okay, these guys would be great video jockeys. Let's see if they're down to shoot this weekend. I know so-and-so's dropping a video soon. Let's see if they want to do a promotional thing. So it's like just kind of taking inventory of what's happening around you and figuring out the best way to do that. And then you can have the time and intentionality to plan for the bigger things. Yeah. It's helpful because it keeps you from not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like if you are just taking inventory of like what's around you, then you're like, okay, like I have no excuses, basically.
Yeah, because if you come up with a concept and then you're like, okay, this is going to cost me $10,000 and I don't have $10,000. And then it kind of, it discourages you from doing it because you're like, how am I going to, get that now or things like that, to where if you, like you said, your resources, the things that are attainable that can make it happen.
More often than not, you're not ready to shoot a $10,000 project if you can't shoot like a crappy 10-minute thing. Like it's just your own evolution.
I like that.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
If you can't shoot something crappy, how do you think you're going to shoot something that's $10 million to $10,000 worth?
I'm telling you, you can't wait until you're perfect. And granted, I say this because I had to learn it. It's something that my dad would always say too, where he would be like, okay, you can't wait until you're ready for it. You just have to go and try it and then get ready for it.
Absolutely.
Get perfect at it.
Yeah, because you don't get good at something unless you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? And then my mantra, everybody knows this, is you have to suck first.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to be totally, granted, there's probably people out there that will pick up the microphone or pick up a guitar and be whatever, John Stamos, at whatever they're doing. But if you're an average idiot like me, there's you have to suck at things when you first try it, because you have to be vulnerable to learning something, and
right? Creating is so vulnerable.
Right.
It is so vulnerable. I think about like times when I'm directing, whether it was for the originals that we showed already, like directing is so vulnerable because you have to go in so confident in what you're doing because you have to tell everyone else what to do. And you just have to be so sure of yourself. And for me, the best way to do that is just to lean into the vulnerability, because if the uncertainty is making you insecure, then that leaves room for collaboration. And then you could say, hey, I'm not really sure what to do about this. What do you guys think? And then you end up with something great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's keeping yourself open to, to other people. Like we just talked about this like a few nights ago, right, Amber? About asking for help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I'm huge on that. If I don't know something, there's got to be somebody else there in the world. There's 7.4 billion people on Earth, and we have a small computer in our hand. We got to find somebody that knows how to do something.
Oh, yeah. I'd be so stupid if it wasn't for like YouTube. Like,
oh, yeah.
I learned so much.
I was just having that conversation with my dad today where he, like, I think he's coming to the understanding of like everything is attainable, right? You want to learn something, you go out and you look for it yourself on YouTube, Google, whatever. I guess someone told him a story of how they started like their record label, and he was saying, he's like, I found this group in Mexico and I wanted them to get here. I didn't know how they would get here. He's like, so he started Googling and YouTubing how to get visas and doing this and doing that. And now this guy owns this like multi-million-dollar
I love
record.
I love success stories that started with I Googled it. Like that's the best thing. That's the best, because you're like, dang, that could have been me. Like I could have done that.
Yeah, and it all goes back to like having an idea and then just going for it. Like having the passion for that idea,
the conviction too.
Yeah, and just spearheading it, like being obsessed with it.
Yes, I love that. There's a quote. as some, I don't know, random director said this, but it's like filmmaking or creating or entertainment is just getting people to love your obsessions. And that's like what I really feel like is my job with Chicano Hollywood Musica, is because I love finding artists. Like I'll find an artist and I will be obsessed with them. And I'll watch all their videos, I'll listen to all their songs, and I'm just fully committed to them as an artist. And now I'm like, okay, my job is to make sure everyone else sees what I see. Like there was an artist that I found, who I believe is in Ohio. And I'm like, I found this random artist in Ohio and I am obsessed with this guy. Like he's this dope Chicano rapper. He raps in like a luchador mask, like all the time. I've not seen his face like in any of his videos. And I love it so much because there's commitment there. And so when I found him, it was like at 1 a.m. I sent a long voice memo to my friend. I'm like, this guy's gonna sell out stadiums. Like, he's so cool. Like, so I get obsessed with them. And that's what I want it to be. I want everyone to understand, like, the people that I shout out, it's because I'm genuinely obsessed with them.
That's good.
And how patient are you? Like when that happens?
In general, no.
Yeah.
Not at all. When that happens?
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to be.
Yeah, I feel like I like with art. I'm the same way with artists, and when I see art and I talk to an artist, or I just see how good they are, and I want other people to see how good they are. Like even some of my closest friends, like I want them to succeed, and I want other people to see what I see.
For sure.
Right? And I guess where my impatience comes from is just like, oh, come on. Please, world, see what I see. But there's way to convey that, right? There's ways.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, because I even think about that with Chicano Hollywood as a whole. Like it started early 2021, so it wasn't like that long ago. But initially, like from the beginning, we all saw what it could be. And so now as it's like growing, I think you still think about, okay, what it could be.
Right.
But I think the key that helps the impatience is stepping back and thinking like, okay, well, think about how far you've come.
Right.
Think about the people that are around you that agree with you.
Right.
Like keep those people close. The people that agree with you, like, yeah, this is going to be good, or this is good, and this is going to be even bigger. Like, I think that's what helps the impatience, is just the keeping that tight knit community that is on the same page as you, and like keeping the people who tear that vision down far away from you as possible.
Absolutely.
Oh, so that helps.
Yeah, stepping back taking inventory of what you have already and showing gratitude to what you have already.
For sure. That's the only way like more good things are going to come.
Okay. I'll try that out next time.
Give it a shot. Let me know how it goes.
I'll try that next time I'm screaming at a painting or screaming at something.
That's valid.
Right.
Like it's not to say I don't also do that.
Right.
But you do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music, art, whatever it is, some podcasts too. I'm just like, oh, this can be so great. Like more people need to hear this. Yes. People need to watch this.
People need to know.
Exactly. Yes. They need to know. Right.
For sure.
So what's your like your dynamic? So I come from working with my family, so I know how it is to work with family, right? Yes. It's great. It has its ups, it has its downs. What's your dynamic with like working like with your dad or just working with your family like in that setting?
It's good. I honestly think it is like best case scenario, because he is such a good leader and a good teacher. Both like I was also homeschooled, so my mom was my teacher my whole life, and so I learned from my parents every single day. And so for him as a mentor to me and so many others, like I also know that I share him as a mentor with so many people, and I love that because we exchange notes. But but I honestly love it. I think a lot of it is like I'll have a big idea or whatever, and then he'll like listen and be like, he'll either be like, okay, like how do we figure that out, or he'll be like, okay, go for it, like you got this, like go ahead, do it, Google it, literally Google it. And so like it's a lot of that no excuses thing. It's a matter of what does it look like to make that happen. Like, what would it take, even if it's that like sort of ingenuity resources thing. I think we take turns trying to add logic to the other person's big dreams, if that makes sense, because
that makes total sense.
Yeah, so it's like one person will be like, okay, this is gonna be big, this is gonna be awesome, like this is gonna be perfect, and the other person's like, okay, well, let's figure that out. Like, how would that practically make it happen? But he does trust me a lot with this lane. He was as soon as he had the idea, he was like, okay, that's all you. And I was like, okay, like, let's see what we do this. So I love it. This is my dream job, so it's fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a dream job.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, talking to artists and getting a platform. You guys are on a streaming platform. Yeah. You guys have an app.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, download the app, please.
I'll put the link to the app in the show description.
Good, yeah. It's that thing of like people need to know. People need to see it for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
And for like Chicano Hollywood Musica, is it only you spearheading this project, or do you have other people that kind of
yeah, as of now, yes. I think it'll grow to where like the video jockeys that I mentioned will kind of like be a bigger face to that show specifically as more episodes come.
Do you have a trailer for that, or did we? Is that the?
Yeah, I think there's a video.
Okay. I want to see that.
We can watch. There's a video of me explaining it. That second one.
This one?
Yeah, okay. We could watch that one.
I gotta see this.
Yeah. So I kind of just talk about.
Get some volume.
It was endless music videos hosted by video jockeys and simply celebrated what was happening in music. Well, Chicano Hollywood is bringing it back with our newest original series, CHM. This show will feature a stacked curation of music. So those are all videos in talented the Latino artists, producers, and directors, and hosted by our own video jockeys. We got Elle James, Aaliyah Orozco, J.R. Esquivel, and Ruby Gonzalez. They'll show you exclusive artist interviews, behind-the-scenes content, Latino music history lessons, and literally so much more. This show will celebrate the space that Chicano culture is taking up in the music industry. So download the app, follow Chicano Hollywood Musica, and be the first to know when the show drops. So the show dropped. How MTV first started?
It's out there?
It's out there. It's out there. This was like right before it dropped, but it's out.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we had, I think there's another video somewhere. We had an original theme song made. Let's see, you can scroll down. Zapata the Ghost, who's a really dope artist that I love. Let's see. I think it's that one with the bunny.
Right here?
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah. So this is an original theme song for the show.
Chicano Hollywood music, tune in, we got a show. We not those other guys' music, we really got a show. It's not reality television, it's videos. Go get a spoon, some milk bowls, some Cheerios. We got the talent, Chicanos, Latinos, the cultura. We got that hot, that fire, raise the temperatura. Chicano boom, bap, rap, trap, and R&B. Get the DJ, get the host, the mic, and bring some comedy. Raise the roof is fuego, we gon' make it lit. Pump it or we dump it, maybe miss, maybe you got it hit. Top 10, top 5, maybe who's the best alive. Maybe breaking records off the press because they just arrived. They won't let us in, we create our own and call it home. Brown music, plus our music, screw it, we support our own. Chicano, Chicana, Latino, Latina. Let's just start the show, lights, camera, open the cortina.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
That's really awesome.
He killed that.
Yeah.
That was really good.
And it pulls like the nostalgia because we don't have this anymore. That's the sad part. But you guys are like bringing it alive like Frankenstein or something.
I like that he said like grab a bowl of cereal or Cheerios.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's something that I would do
right
in the morning, like Saturday mornings, or my sister would put MTV, or my mom would do VH1, things like that. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Did you know one of the first VJ, is it VJs, right? That's what they're called. VJs from MTV is Adam Curry. And Adam Curry is the godfather of all podcasts.
No, I didn't
know
that.
They call him the Podfather because he initially gave Steve Jobs the idea of having podcasts.
Oh, wow.
Like when Steve Jobs came out with the first iPod, Adam Curry came to him and said, what you have in your hand is a radio transmitter. And what we can do is he created the RSS feed, which is a link that I'm nerding out right now.
No, go for it.
That all podcasts have. It's your RSS feed. And your RSS feed is initially your or it's your digital footprint to your podcast. Okay. So he created that, gave it to Steve Jobs, and the podcast was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
There he is. Adam Curry. Yeah, and that's what he looked like. Like 3 minutes of MTV's Adam Curry.
I was going to say, I definitely seen videos of him doing research for the show. That is so funny. I love 80s trends. Like, that hair is incredible.
Isn't it?
That's all my dad's fault because he...
Look at that one. Look at the black and white picture right there.
Right here.
Yes.
Like a glamour shot.
But I can see those inspirations in the video, like kind of like that 80s.
Yeah.
Looks like they recorded it with like a camcorder.
Some of it we did.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Which was really fun.
That's really cool.
Shout out Sid Sotelo. He's dope. He's like one of our go-to DPs.
Yeah, and there's like so much. And what's a DP?
A director of photography.
Director of photography. Okay, because your dad said that at the event, and I was like, what is
so
a
they're
DP?
the main one over the camera department, visuals of whatever project it is. I think there's a difference where it's like a DP is like over it, but they don't always operate the camera, whereas a cinematographer also operates or something like that.
Gotcha.
Some film school nerd thing. But yeah, he's dope. He's one of our go-tos. Most of the stuff that we put out, he's been our number one.
Yeah, and everything looks great. Like the production value on your guys' really stuff is awesome.
I appreciate that.
Are you so like the music that gets curated for these things? Are these things that you like the artists that you like and things that
So for the music videos that we had for the first episode, those were all artists that I think most of them are people that I reached out to, or I did like a post of like kind of teased what we were doing, and a lot of people reached out to us, which was dope. Because I feel like there's so many people where I'm like, okay, I know you're out there, I just need to find you. Like let's at least you find me, like let's connect somehow. But yeah, some of those artists were
And how do you do that? How do you find them?
I stalk people.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we send you something? No.
No, please. No, I literally like either Spotify or Instagram or TikTok. Like those three, honestly, shout out to the algorithm because they just know what I'm wanting. A lot of like cool TikTok that have like come my way have been like Latino artists, and they just know it's what I'm into. And so I've found people and I've messaged them, and they've made their...
It's the hashtags, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hashtags on your video so they can find you.
Yes, they're not embarrassing. They're very helpful. They will get you jobs. Like, please do it. And then also Spotify. Like the rapper I mentioned earlier, I was making a new playlist, and it just kind of comes up in what they know, the type of music I'm adding, and it came up, and his cover art stood out to me. And so a lot of times that will happen, and then I'll go to my like internet stalker mode and figure out who they are, what they're about.
Your black hoodie with your aviator glasses.
All lights off. Like, I'm in it.
Her dad's like, what are you doing?
Like, work, Dad. It's for the business. Trust me. Yeah. So I try to like just do research and find people and figure out how I can get them involved. We have new shows that I'm developing that I'm now like looking for artists to figure out, okay, who's the best fit for these new shows that are kind of coming into place. And they're going to be really different. They're going to be more like live performance pieces, but they're still like that high quality we want to maintain and even grow. Other shows are going to be like breaking down the process of their video, of their project, of their album. I just want to get more people talking about what we're doing.
We were just talking about it today because we're on a record label, right? And it's a like Latino Chicano record label.
Love it.
And there's artists on there that, I mean, Gil was fans of before we even joined the record label.
I didn't even know that they were on the label. Like, it was these group of musicians, and I listened to them. I listened to their Spotify, their music, their videos, and I went to one of their shows, and they were all in one place. I was like, awesome. I can go to a show. They're all in one place, one-stop shop. And I went there, and then I found out that they're on a label. And I was like, oh,
crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
How can I be on that label? I found out that they had a podcast network.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And shout out to My Grito Industries. And I manifested it.
That's dope.
And they reached out to us.
I
love that. I didn't fully know that podcasts could be under a label.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know. I've learned so much from you today, dude.
I'm like, let's talk about it after Chicano Hollywood podcast. Well, no. No, but what I was trying to get at was like, you know, there's these really, really cool artists on our label that are like, some of them do like soldies, right? Like the soul oldies. And I think like that would be so cool to see them on like a platform like that, or even like you know, on one of those videos that you guys do. And I see how you get so excited, because even just me thinking of them, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to see them, and I'm like, I'm excited, and I'm not even the one spearheading anything. You know what I mean?
I'll take ideas, girl. I'll take them. No, I love that, because that just shows like the potential of this is so great that the energy and creativity is contagious. Like that, I love so much. No, the soldies genre, I guess, like I love that because I feel like it keeps what like we knew growing up with oldies, keeps it relevant and keeps it new and fresh, because we just had Amora J, who is under Trejo Music, that label. I think she kind of like is under the soldies genre. A lot of the artists under that label are, but we had her as a musical guest on a new talk show that we're producing under Chicano Hollywood, and that was so cool because here she's like this young girl who's like singing from her soul. Oh my God. It was such a beautiful performance. And I'm like, okay, this is dope, because it's not that the oldies genre is just nostalgic. It's relevant. Like there's new stuff coming out under that genre. It's just been really cool to see. Like there's so many artists I see under that, and I'm like, okay, it's in it. It's oldies is in Chicano culture. Like it's part of it.
Yeah. Love and heartbreak will never go out of style.
That's a good point. That stays relevant. That's so true.
And it's nice to see like for like Gil and I, you know, we like rockabilly, psychobilly, like, you know, like that like genre music. And it's nice to see Latinos doing that as well. You know, a lot of bands that we follow that are still within those genres of music. And it's just it's a nice feeling, and it's nice to see that there's representation happening in many forms of genres, and it's not only one thing that we're known for. Like
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is like my personal agenda with Chicano Hollywood Musica, is to have the genre diversity, because there's some artists who are like indie garage band, there's some who are like the classic Chicano rapper, some who are pop, or there's this one dude that I love who he has a lot of trumpet in his music, and he was also on the talk show, and he like played the trumpet, and I was like, this is sick. So there's like proof that we are in every genre.
Absolutely.
So like it's just talking about it. Like let's make sure people are aware and know these really cool artists, because we're in all of it. You can't say Chicano music and assume a certain type of sound. Like that's what I want to change. And make sure that people know like now we're in all of it. Like for sure.
Right. We're not just all lowriders and whatever. But we're more than that. We can play guitar, we can play trumpet, we can play saxophone, drums, whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Like
we can shred like Jimi Hendrix, but we can also dance like I don't know, James Brown. James Brown is not Latino, but you get the gist.
I love that.
But there's so many things to tap into that it's like you get all these ideas. How do you how do you start? How do you start one?
It's hard. I was thinking about that on the drive over here, where I was like, dang, okay, we had the launch party, and we had some really cool performances, and I had a lot of artists ask me afterwards, like, when the next one is for them to have, like, a performance opportunity. And I was like, oh, crap. Like, I'm going to have to plan another event. And I, because of my more filmmaking background, am just thinking about shows and projects and docuseries and stories to tell as far as filming and putting on the app. And I forget to think about, like, okay, we need like more live in-person community opportunities and performance opportunities. So I was thinking about that of like, okay, like I need to get that idea on board so that more people could come see it in person. I think it's just that prioritizing thing of like, I want, like, okay, this is a good example. The first episode of CHM, when I was asking people about sending their music videos and getting it on the show, it was hard for people to understand kind of the concept and what it was and like get on board. So as soon as I dropped the first episode, then they were like, oh shoot, okay, this is dope. Here's my videos. So it's about figuring out what's the project that gets people on the same page as what we're doing and kind of builds that trust and relational equity. And that's kind of how I try to start and then see what happens there.
Yeah, it's back again to where like you have to do something first before knowing where you can move on to onto the next.
Yeah, you can't predict how it's going to go. You just have to start somewhere.
No, you just got to start somewhere and say, screw it.
Yep.
Let's roll with the punches.
Yep.
Let's just do this.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you learn.
For sure. Something good is bound to happen.
Yeah.
Can't
either good or bad. Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. So what's your project right now? Like, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm wanting to do an album review show, kind of where it would be me and an artist if they just dropped an album. Let's sit down and let's talk about, like, not just you as an artist. We did that with, like, Chicano 2.0, Jessica Flores. She talks about their story, their personal life, all that, and it was so beautiful. But this one, I'm going to take a little different twist where we want to talk about just the album or just the EP that they dropped.
Oh, that's cool.
And let's go deep. Let's go song by song. Let's go why that feature? Why this order? What was the story we wanted to tell here? Like, were there songs here that you maybe wrote for a different project? Why did it make the cut now? Like, all those questions that I love to think about. I just want to sit down on a couch, I don't know, have some café de olla, and like let's talk about this project as a whole and like the place that it has in their moment, in their kind of place in their artistry. And I feel like that is going to be so fun because there's so many details in an album like that, like down to the lyric choices, producing elements.
The album artwork, if they have
exactly the cover art,
editing involved, right? Yeah, their production value, all that good stuff.
I love when an artist has all of their music videos for an album kind of exist in the same universe. Like, I love when people do that. I think it's so fun. So let's talk about it. Like that is what I'm excited about because I feel like artists don't always get the opportunity to talk about like the little details of what made them kind of go this route with a project. So
right. Yeah. And that's important too. I feel that those little stories are very important to knowing who your favorite artist is.
Sure.
Right? If you
definitely, it
brings them to like it humanizes them. Like they're a human. They have feelings just like me. Right? Like they may
like us.
Right. They may or may not have been through the same I don't know, breakup or love or heartbreak. I don't know. I feel like my theme right now is this love and heartbreak
I'm
right
like,
now.
What's going on
talk?
here? Do you want to talk with me too? What's going on?
I heard this awesome song by I am Rare Hearts, and I reached out to him today. Yeah. So it's Joseph. He's gonna be on the podcast in the next couple of weeks, and I reached out to him and I told him, I was like, dude, I literally had your song on repeat for an hour. He was like, dude, like stuff like this, messages like this keeps me going. And what you're doing, I'm pretty sure artists are, it gives them validation and it gives them the encouragement to see what their projects are, or they see what they're doing and knowing that, wow, like I'm working on something and people like it.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope that is the effect that is at the very least coming from the work we're doing. I think what I'd hope for every artist is them to not see like the handful of A-list Latino artists at the top and think like, okay, there's no room for me. Like, I wouldn't want someone to feel discouraged by that. I want them to understand there's so much room for, like, everyone can be bigger if we just kind of commit to growing in our craft and commit to supporting each other. I was talking with my dad on the way over here that I'm really, like, there's that competitive nature that happens just within Latinos in entertainment, and it's so embarrassing because that keeps us from growing. And I feel like even more so, there's this sort of need or desire to be the first Latino, the first Chicano to do this and that. And for me, I would rather normalize that we're doing cool things. I'd rather be so freaking casual. Not to say you don't celebrate it, but let's do cool things more often to where it just becomes normal.
It's just like,
it's just like, oh, dope. Like,
another cool video come out. Awesome.
You should have expected it by now. Like, of course I'm doing cool things.
But that's just so silly just to think that, oh, I want to be the first person to do something. Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not. Even when you think you are, you forgot about homie 10 years ago who did not get the attention that he deserves.
Exactly.
Like, that was literally what we were talking about, is that people say this and that. And you're like, nope. And so
I don't think so.
And I think that it stems, like, culturally for us to think about that. Because I think we've talked about it with someone else. I can't remember on the top of my head. Where we talked about, like, other cultures bringing people here, you know, to this country and all living in one house. And then everyone helps each other build, you know, a business, and then that person gets the business, and then they help the next person build a business, and there's this like camaraderie of helping. And within our Latino culture, sometimes it's like, what do I have? What am I gonna do? I did this. Why am I gonna bring someone else up? You know, and I get it. It's our nature of surviving. I think coming to this country and being here, you know, they felt alone, and maybe they were alone, you know, and it just, it gets passed down through generations of having to think that we're alone and that we need to do things on our own, and it needs to start breaking, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, like, the survival is a big thing. A lot of Latinos and anyone, you get into the entertainment industry, it is terrifying. And you don't know where to start. You don't know who to trust. You don't know, like, who to take seriously, who's going to take you seriously. And so you do what you think you have to out of survival, when in reality, you will have a better chance of survival in supporting each other. Like, a lot of people say that it's better to network horizontally, as in with the people at your same level and collaborating, rather than networking vertically, where, like, oh, if I'm going to talk to the biggest person in the room, the richest, most famous person in the room, and they're going to notice me. Like, nah, like, you're going to get better at what you do by talking to the person who is at your same level, because you'll grow together. And so that's kind of like where a lot of people misunderstand the best way to go about it.
Yeah, but it's not public information. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
trial
that's
by error. For
sure. I think that's why we have stuff like this, that people can understand, like, these little nuances of something like that, because that I found out that the hard way. Of just trying to stay in my own lane and working at something that I'm truly passionate about, until I let my guard down and opened up to, like you said, people that were on my level. And from when I learned that, it started to grow little by little, because I was allowing myself to open up and to learn from people, to learn from people that have been podcasts that have been doing it for longer than me. You know, just keeping that like, just throwing away that ego.
Yep.
And
get rid of it.
Exactly.
If you don't let go of it, someone will destroy it. So you better be the person
that lets
go of it. It needs to be destroyed out of the way. It's better if you're the person that just lets go
you
of
do it, right? Yeah, that's like super important. I like that. I like that, to work horizontally, not vertically.
Yeah, there's just so much growth and momentum that comes from that, because if you keep, like, knocking at a door you think is going to open for you, it won't, like, not out of like we said earlier, if you are waiting for the $10,000 budget to make your passion project, but you're not ready to shoot this crappy thing, then like no good will come out of it. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of learning. And
Yeah.
I think that like working in entertainment is the most like personally developing thing. Like you just grow as a person. You grow in your understanding of people and just your self-awareness and that like kind of interpersonal communication and stuff like that. So I'm just like, it stretches you, man.
And it's like the one of the hardest
Yeah,
industries to work in, right?
sure.
I think like comedian and actors are and musicians are like the top like 3
Yeah.
like hardest jobs to do. Can you look that up, Amber? I want to see
Comedians,
which one is hard.
Comedians, I would totally
Harder.
believe, because we're shooting a docuseries right now and we're following the journey of like some up and coming comedians.
Oh, cool.
And it's been really dope. It's with the Homeboy Art Academy. And that has been so crazy, just like being a fly on the wall or just being on set working on that show, because it looks hard. Like,
Okay, none of my jobs that I mentioned. Don't show that.
That is so
Okay, but
funny.
I said hardest jobs in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Not in America. Of course, a firefighter is going to be hard. A firefighter is going to be harder than a comedian. Come on, Amber.
That is so funny.
Jeez. But what about a comedian firefighter? How about that one?
My dad was also a firefighter, so there you
Yeah,
go.
Oh yeah, I
Producer,
just
firefighter.
heard that
Oh, he has.
this Saturday,
There's some jobs where I still learned
last
about.
Saturday.
Yeah. So
There's still jobs.
there's still jobs that he's had that I still haven't heard about. There's so many.
So there's
Toughest
okay.
jobs in
There we
showbiz.
go. Toughest jobs in showbiz. Come on,
You should have
variety.
said that.
Chippendales.
Chippendales,
Okay.
that's the hardest job.
I'll
It's
take that
in
one.
showbiz.
What is it? Don't film me now. Variety magazine.
I hope being a first AD is
Come
on that
on.
list, because that's a very hard job.
Oh.
What is that?
Being a first AD.
What's a first AD?
So they're like, it's a job I had a lot in college and with any of our Chicano Hollywood projects. So you're basically in charge of the schedule and the overall running of the production, especially day of. So like keeping time, making sure they're not taking too long on one scene that you forget you have an entire sequence to shoot at the end of the day. Like it's a lot of details, and you're basically like the person that things get blamed on set, because you just have to be the bad guy like the whole time. And I think people underestimate how hard that job is. No one talks about it enough. That's my other agenda, is raise awareness, guys.
No, the other one didn't have anything.
No.
It was like a Paramount Pictures security guard or
What?
things like that.
I think your point is valid.
It's very valid. It's 100% valid.
Forget Google, man.
Yeah.
I believe what you're saying.
We talked about how great
You
Google
need to
was.
Google it? Nah. Screw Google, man.
You're right, though. You're right, girl.
Yeah, I know. Of course I'm right.
He said I know.
Of course I'm right. What are you talking about?
He's gonna go and make his own wiki page.
Yeah.
So next time we Google,
I'm going to
it,
make a
come out.
Gilgle, not a Google. Gilgle.com.
Oh my goodness.
Google.org.
That's funny.
Check it out.
How do you because I know that you guys are all about like, you know, giving everyone an opportunity and a chance and you know, bringing everybody up and everything, and you guys sound like amazing. Well, not even sound, because we know you guys, but you guys are amazing, you know, of doing that and everything. But
Thank you.
how do you set boundaries with like people not taking advantage of you guys being nice and you know, like how do you guys set that?
That's a good question. I think we're still learning. Like, I think as it grows, we learn. I think it also goes down to prioritizing. Like, okay, like we really featured so-and-so for this project. Like, it's this person's turn now. So I would hope that anyone who comes to us for any type of promotion or collaboration, they understand that our main goal is that like everyone gets a turn, or there's room for everyone. So I think it's also about making sure we're working with people who get that and aren't like hogging that sort of spotlight or attention. And I think for us, we just kind of try to pay attention to those things and making sure that, okay, like I did with the performances for our launch party. I'm like, okay, I got these people, but I know that these people hit me up, so I need to make sure they're at the top of the list for the next one. So I kind of try to do that, make sure we're not like picking favorites.
Yeah.
Like I might have people that I love, but like I want the platform to be for everyone. And so I think we just try to like take note, and still a learning thing, I guess. Like the best part about all this is that you get to work with people, but sometimes that's like the hardest part. So it's still a learning thing for sure.
When I went from working with people to numbers, I like numbers better.
Yeah. They're a lot quieter.
Yeah, they're a lot quieter, and I can understand them. They don't have feelings.
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to do, to work with people, and people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Especially what you do, because it's creatives, and creatives are crazy people.
They're crazy. Yeah, I love
They're
them.
weird. They're crazy.
insane. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love all my artist friends and musicians, but sometimes they can be difficult. Maybe. I don't know.
Everyone's on a different wavelength, I think. And,
For sure.
And when you're a creative, like that's your mind. That's what you want to create. And somebody doesn't see it, and it's like, okay, well, you got to see it. So I think creatives are just everyone's on a different wavelength, and it's understanding them and seeing how you can contribite, right? Because you can't be everyone's savior or everyone's, everything. It's like, well, what can I contribute to?
And I think that's what, at our producer's lunch recently, how we wanted to make sure that people talk to each other. And how my dad was saying earlier, like, don't just come to me. Like, you guys know me already. Like, talk to each other. So it's also about creating community where it's not just how can I be a part of the next Chicano Hollywood Musica project, but like, how can I connect with the person they just featured, and together we can do something. So I want to hear about stories of people that we connected together or they heard about through us, that they're doing their own stuff now. So it's making this like that ecosystem, this self-sufficient machine that for not everything they don't need us, but that they just know of each other through us, and that we're just creating that sort of safe community.
Absolutely. And like I said at the top of this, there's always somebody that can help out with something.
Yeah, you have to ask. But
right?
Yeah.
Right? Like if you, because there's big projects, there's small projects, and it takes a lot of people, and it takes like certain people in certain fields to help with certain components of the project. And it sounds like Chicano Hollywood Musica is looking like it's going to be a pretty big project for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starts crying. Oh, no, yeah. I'm excited for all that it can be.
Right.
And I'm trying to do my best and figure out what all it requires of me. What are ways that I could bring in other people to showcase their talent? And build a team. We were saying that recently. Like, I am excited to build like a Chicano Hollywood Musica team.
What's your team at the moment? Am I looking at it right now?
For now. Yeah, figuring that out. But I know that it's a disservice to CHM's potential for it to just be me. And so I'm wanting to kind of figure out, okay, who are some people that I can really delegate and learn how to build that up and not spread ourselves too thin. And kind of like lean on that.
Right. And it comes with experience and like being wise. Like I said earlier, like if one of the toughest things in working by yourself is delegating, because you have this certain idea, and it's also idea, and there's also trust that you have to, because this is your baby, right?
Yeah.
Right? You have a little baby. You have a little baby, and you don't want to like pass that baby to somebody that you don't trust.
For sure.
Right? Like this thing here. I barely trusted Amber with it, and I trust her with
She's
my
like,
life.
Yeah, barely.
But it's just again, it goes back to that vulnerability. Like you have to humble yourself and say, hey, and this is where the experience in being wise comes from.
For sure.
Is that I can't do everything. I have a vision, but I can't do everything.
Yeah. When the potential and the vision is just bigger than you, that's when you got to step back and figure out, okay, what does the vision need? That's just not me. And that's where also like any sort of ego or things like that, where I'm just like, I just want people to know about these dope artists. That has nothing to do with me. I want to do everything in my power to make sure that happens, but I also just want to make sure it happens.
Right.
Type of thing, for sure.
And it's humbling. And that's awesome that you know that, because if anything potentially comes to that point, you have the self-awareness to take a step back.
Yeah.
And look at the situation and assess it. And okay, what are my priorities? This is the best thing that I need to do for Chicano Hollywood Musica, right?
For sure, yeah. And that's where like my dad is such a good mentor in that sense, because he'll give me the freedom, but he's also good accountability in the sense that Chicano Hollywood Musica is under Chicano Hollywood umbrella. And so him as like the founder understands like, okay, best business strategy and things like that. He trusts me as far as creative direction, but he also is able to give good input like that I don't have, or that just even experience that I don't have, to kind of figure out the best sort of strategy. And yeah, even just discerning who's the right people. Like we said, surround yourself with good people that you can trust, that understand the vision. So it's figuring that out as well. But it'll come together. I know that this type of vision will attract the right people for sure.
So what's in the future for Chicano Hollywood Musica?
Big picture?
Big picture, medium picture, small picture.
Okay. Let's see this.
We could go down the pyramid.
Big picture, I would love to do a festival, like a massive festival, and it be this really immersive experience, and we have just a stage for everyone to really see the value in themselves, and people can get introduced to new artists, and it just be this really cool experience. So yeah, CHM Festival coming soon. But medium picture, I would love consistent live events, like a once a month basis, like whether it's something chill, like an open mic type thing, or this themed soldies night. So we have like genre nights where everyone's coming in, or we have like rap battle nights. Like I'd want just a hub where people know that at least once a month, the like Musica family is going to come together and we're going to hang out, catch up, support each other, things like that. Smaller-ish picture, I just want a ton of originals on the app. There's just so much potential there, and I want these just high-quality performances. I have these ideas where there was one time I was making a deck to pitch this idea, and I like got emotional because I was like, this concept will just prove that Latino artists just deserve such a high quality stage, high quality performance, production value. Like this is just what they've deserved, and what people, the way that the world deserves to see them, type of thing. So I get passionate. But yeah, those are kind of the phases of what I'm thinking now. I'll have new ideas by tonight. Like that's kind of how it works, but that's sort of where I'm at.
Well, if there's anything that we can do, Mind Buzz, the Mind Buzz podcast, or Mind Buzz Media can help out with.
For sure.
Step 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, but
don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to reach out to us.
You got it, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Thank you.
Betania, thanks for coming out and doing the podcast. I appreciate it. Yes. Awesome. So go ahead and tell us where we can find you guys and what you have coming up.
Yes, so you can follow us at Chicano Hollywood Musica on all platforms. Email, if you're an artist, manager, producer, DJ, music video director, email me, Chicano Hollywood Musica at Gmail. And just let me know your story, what you're about, and I promise you we will find a way for you to get involved, join the movement. It's going to be great. So come join, be at the start of it, because it's going to be something really special. So thank you so much, Mind Buzz. This has been fun.
Cool. So all the links to Chicano Hollywood Musica will be down at the show description. So go check them out. Go follow them. Go do all that cool stuff. And
download the app, too.
Download the app.
Download the app. Go watch CHM and Chicano 2.0. We got new originals on the way, but just trust me, y'all. Download it. There's some cool stuff coming.
Catch up with season 1 and then check out season 2 when it comes out.
Yes, let us know. DM me some artists that should be on season 2.
Yes.
Let me know.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start a band just to be on. Do it.
Top of the list, girl.
We have a great concept. If you heard last night's episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Good. I love that.
Coming soon. But do we have anything coming up, Amber? What about the huge thing that we just finished today? Can we reveal that?
What huge thing?
Oh, you want to see it? Should I put it on there?
Mindbuzz.org is now up and running. So go,
Congrats.
please check that out. It's our baby at the moment.
Website. That looks so good.
Thanks.
What the heck?
It's gonna.
The Mind Buzz. Mindbuzz.org. Go check it out. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Love it.
Thank you for coming out.
Of course.
Thanks for listening to the Mind Buzz podcast. Subscribe to the Mind Buzz YouTube channel and watch full podcast episodes. Keep up with the hosts, guests, and upcoming events by following the Mind Buzz on Instagram at the Mind Buzz. See you on the next one.